welcome back to another episode of Discussions of Exploration with your host, Sabrina Ben Salmi. I am here with a very, very special guest who I admire and has been a part of our life for many, many years. She's seen my kids grow up, and I call her Mama out of respect. It's rude of me to call you by your first name, but I will allow you to introduce yourself to the listeners. So please tell the listeners your name and what you do.
Oh, hi, everybody. Hi, Sabrina. I'm honored to be here. My name is Chioma Mundy-Castle. On Facebook, people call me Chioma. I'm a talking therapist.
Definitely.
Very therapeutic.
Definitely.
I like to help. I like people to see themselves from where they are. Yes. So I'm going. My life has been a roller coaster, but I think I've done enough. I'm a mother of 5, and I'm a very strong mother. I would credit that to myself, and it's very important mothers recognize how strong they are. It doesn't matter whether you have a child or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 even. Every mother is so strong. And I appreciate people. In your own case, I've seen you struggle with your 5 kids. And with you, you give me all the pleasure, reason to talk to other women. Because you don't know how many people I refer to say, watch that lady, Sabrina Ben. She's a strong mother, one to emulate. Wow. I know it's not easy. And I know what people go through to succeed in life. Well, if you don't know that, I'm saying this today, you're a strong mother, and I credit you that. I think I have to give an award, personal award to Sabrina Ben and the family. I've seen them grow up, and I admire you to the core. You're one of the girls that put smile on my face all the time.
Likewise.
So, yes, honestly, because there is, I like to point people to the right direction, particularly mothers who are coming up to me, asking for inspiration. I said, go to Facebook, find Sabrina Ben, listen to her a little bit. Her story might inspire you. And I like to uplift people, although, sometimes we go through hard times in life, but we have to be strong in every situation and be ourselves in that situation. So whatever we're going to talk about today, I'm quite happy to really fall in with you. So go ahead.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm really honored, and I really thank you, because I remember many years ago, like you said, you saw the kids as they was growing up. You had a call with me, and just listening to your journey, and I have a copy of your book, and hearing you be a mother of 5 gave me hope that my children will make it, and hearing the success stories of my children. So I thank you for that encouragement. I really love the topic that you decided to discuss today. So Mama's decided to discuss families, in particular, talking about how jealousy impacts us. And I feel that this is a topic that we don't speak about enough. I think sometimes we face, we all have our ups and downs. Often we talk about the stuff that happen outside of our home, and we forget that some of the biggest challenges happen for us at home. So I wonder if you'd like to start with what your thoughts are around how that impacts, and share aspects that you feel comfortable to share.
Oh, well, thank you for the opportunity to share that, because, it would be nice to know that charity begins at home. And in our families today, I realize that jealousy is the key thing. It takes people apart from where they ought to be. And if we don't search ourselves and be happy with ourselves, how can we give happiness, by the way? We can't. So I try to get people to understand that nothing is so important in life. Take, for instance, what we're going through today. As a mother of 5, I can tell you, I'm blessed with 5 prominent men and women. And I can identify problem in every family, because I experienced the same as well. I thought all mothers should be aware of this and do what they can do to actually help those children to come together again and discuss whatever is a problem in that family. And if we don't do this, it could escalate. And that is not the way to go. And if we're not happy from our families, there is no way we will be useful to the community. So there is something I call a happy family. It's a happy community. And I try to work on that, because it's not been easy bringing up 5 children on my own. Even though I had a good life, they had a good life, it's still a problem. It's still a problem amongst the children. So as we grow older, you become wiser and more sensible, and you can reflect things and know exactly how to go about every situation. In my own case, I saw the children growing up. I went through what needle eyes to bring these children up. And I did my best, because I never had what I never had. I wanted to give to them, and I gave my best. And thank God today they are all where they ought to be. But one thing I noticed, I would really say, is jealousy. Jealousy among them. And my question to them, why? There is nothing you cannot change. There is nothing you cannot do. So why jealousy? Because it comes to a point where none of them want to talk to any of them, each other. That is not right. It is not right in any family, and that I want to eradicate.
I really thank you for being so open. I think one of the things I really respect about you is your authenticity and transparency. And I've been speaking to many people about this, is that if we be very superficial with our problems, we have superficial solutions.
Yeah.
And I really honor
indeed.
being able to disclose that, because the truth is every family has its problems. No family doesn't have a problem. The thing is how do we tackle it when it shows up? And I loved what you said about jealousy.
Yeah.
See, jealousy is one of the most primary essences that siblings go through. You know, it's natural. You know, your brother gets a toy, you wanted the same toy, and your parents might ask you to wait. It starts at a very young age. And then we start developing this resentment, thinking they have what I wanted when I wanted it. And that's the seed when it's planted. And I really loved when you highlighted, Mama, about the primary role of the mother to actually bring the kids together and say, let's talk it through. Because for children, it's like, oh my God, I just want the toy. And for you, you're like, well, you will get the toy. What's more important is your relationship. What's more important is that you're able to discuss it, because otherwise it stays in the heart of the child like a seed. And like you say, as they get older, it starts to manifest. And I can attest to this, because I myself, I'm an only child, but I remember my mother talking about the same thing. There was this favoritism and jealousy in the family, and there was this very prominent essence that they would use, like the black sheep of the family. It was always very clear who the black sheep was, who the favorite was, and then the ones in the middle. Now for children, they're just learning by their environment. And I love again what you said, is that it's for the mother to come in and say, guys, I noticed that you're not talking anymore. I noticed that you guys are very quick or snappy, and there's anger, which means there's unresolved issues, which we can sit down and discuss around the table. And I love this topic so much, because especially right now, when people are in the confinement of their homes 24/7, now is the best time than ever for us to utilize this opportunity to heal as a family. Because would you agree that life is not guaranteed for tomorrow? But one thing,
there you go.
Exactly. One thing we can do is that utilize what we have for today. So, Mama, I wonder I can see that you're bubbling up. You've got so much to share.
The point I'm trying to make here, I take the blame somehow, because I should have started earlier. Because I was going through some emotional trauma at the time. So I'm that kind of a person who takes one step at a time. If I don't resolve a problem, personal problem, and I hate to jump it. or go to something else. You know, I didn't realize the gravity of what was going on in my family. And that was a setback for me, plus my emotional state at that time. But now, come the other day, somebody said, "Oh, you've got a favorite child syndrome." Did you hear that?
Yeah.
A favorite child syndrome. Now, from what you have said, when children grow up together, one wants one thing, one wants the other. Even though you give them what they want, they still find favor in what the other has got. So for me, for one of them to say I have a problem, and the problem I have is a last child syndrome, I began to think to myself, think about it. This is jealousy here. But before then, I never realized it because I brought my children up with respect. They all did as they were told. I guided them because I was not guided myself, and I knew the impact of guidance, a good parentage. So I thought I did my best in giving them that. And up until my husband died, wow, that was a different family completely from the family I had brought up. But one was eager to do everything. One was eager to step up. It doesn't matter what happens, I will be there. But the rest were a bit, reluctant and draw back in doing things. But this very particular one don't care. She goes ahead and does. And when children really do what they're asked to do or what you expect of them, you got to respect that as a mother. And that could be a problem. So I did a mistake by not tackling an issue when I should have. But another question is, was I in the right mood or in the right state of mind to be able to understand everybody? Because sometimes we got to actually respect people's feeling. For instance, if I don't want to, I'm in isolation at the moment. I could have been with them all, like a week here, a week there, a week there. But I've got grandchildren all over the place. Taking, for instance, if I get infected, that means I will infect them. So I decided to isolate on my own where I am at the moment. So, which is good. But I tell you, jealousy is a very dangerous thing to have in the family. And getting rid of it is another thing. Knowing exactly how to tackle that issue is another thing, which I'm working out at the moment. And that is a drawback for me because I kept feeling, look, something is not right here. How would anybody believe you? So in that case, I'm doing my best now to try and use this opportunity to bring each and every one of them together again. And that will be my peace.
That's beautiful. Do you know what I love?
Really?
By listening to you, it got me thinking that sometimes when we say the word jealousy, I know that for some families it will trigger a lot of anger and resentment, like, why would you say that about me? Why? But actually this gives us an opportunity to heal, because if it's such an obvious and prominent issue, everyone ignoring it is making it worse, it's perpetuating it. But when we actually go, let's sit down and let's address it, like, this is what it is, now we can address it, rather than everyone being aware and not tackling it. And you know what I love is that people, listeners, I really want you to start thinking about the dynamics of your families. What is the relationship you have with your brothers, your sisters? Maybe you don't have siblings. What about the relationship you have with your parents or your extended family? Because it works in different variations. I know someone very closely, and I know in their family that their grandfather was very wealthy, and then when he died, he was actually murdered by his brother because he had land, and there was this rivalry because he was actually the dad's favorite. So chance has it that the dad gave him a bigger proportion of the land, so the other brother murdered the brother. The next generation, the two brothers were fighting over the same land, and the father ran off, and then he basically lived away from the family, had children. Now he died eventually, but a very similar story happened whereby the person in the family could have saved his life, because where they are, they have to pay for private healthcare. So he wasn't operated on due to a family member saying that I'm not going to protect you because of other things that happened in the family, and took a payout. So the person had an accident on the premises of someone else's property, and he hadn't covered properly with insurance. So I've definitely seen quite closely how jealousy can result into the essence of death. I've seen how jealousy can render siblings not speaking, not connecting. I've definitely seen it worked in different variations in my own family. So I really thank you for granting the listeners this opportunity to start thinking very openly and honestly from a premise like what you just did, like not just saying my family did this, but also saying I put my hand up because I feel that I contributed by this. And I love what you said with regards to not being in the emotional state. See, as a family, we have to be very mindful of the context in which things are taking place. So if the person's going through grief, if the person's being abused, if the person's going through financial issues, maybe they're not absolutely aware of how they're showing up, and this is why communication is so important. So Mama, I wonder what you would like to say. I just loved what you shared.
Well, like I said, jealousy is one of the biggest problems in our families, and this people should be aware of it and deal with it appropriately in a calm manner, because it can lead to anything. Like you just said, somebody killed someone because of a piece of land, and if their brothers and sisters, or this can lead to any length. And I've experienced that with most of the people I work with. In every family, this word jealousy has to be tackled, because again, I like when people accept their own faults. What could I have done differently from this point? Realizing that this is an issue which most families fail to recognize. The moment we talk about the pressing issue, then we can deal with it. I have accepted my own fault. I have really looked at it critically and said to myself, I could have done this before now. So I'm late at it, but I'm working towards it to bring them together again, particularly in this time of isolation, uncertainty. Nobody's promise of tomorrow. So let's make amendments, and it could be done. And I mean, if we follow the right mind and right strategies, it can be done, and something can be done. It's not good to ignore jealousy. Don't ignore it.
Exactly. Do you know what? There's a couple of things that you've said that I really love, and I would love us to just talk about that. Number one, acceptance. You see, I think that is definitely the first point of action. So I would love us to talk about what things we can put in place to start tackling it. But I love what you said about acceptance, because I feel that nothing can take place unless people don't feel attacked by, okay, you're blaming me. Well, actually, it's not even about blame. It's about acceptance that we all individually and collectively played a part to some level with regards to what's taking place. So if we can just accept that, however big or how small that acceptance is, but if we can each accept that I could have said stop, I could have been aware, I could have said, well, it's happening. No matter what it is, you might have just been observing it. So it's a case that Mama's touched on something so needed, is that unless we're able to accept, because in that acceptance, it gives us as a family the allowance to sit down at a table without temperatures being raised and people firing up and feeling attacked. We can actually sit down and say, I hear you, because the truth is, if I just think about blame, at what cost? Because the truth is, if it's not addressed, we're going to hand it down to the next generation. And I think that wouldn't it be a good idea to just sit down, like what you're saying, in this current circumstance and address it, so you can hand down and continue to live the legacy, so that when you leave the legacy, it's one of love, it's one of understanding, but first and foremost, it's one of acceptance. I love it.
Finding solution is easy. It might take a slow process, but you get there. But don't ignore it, because it's very important to understand what jealousy can do.
Yes, yes, yes.
Very important for every mother, because when you've been through a situation, you know exactly how you felt. And we're not different. When that, it can come in any dimension of, anger and frustration. So it's important to address jealousy, because it's very important. I personally want to leave a happy legacy with my kids, and I bet they're in denial. They know this is a great woman and I can fix anything. That the good news is, when you are in the right frame of mind, you're fearless about what you say that is right. The thing is, make sure you look after yourself. You are happy where you are, and you're certain about what. So I am happy to say this lockdown has given me the opportunity to actually do what is necessary at this moment. And I can feel that this is the time for me to really do that correction. Bring them together, whichever way. Accept your own fault. Yes, because a lot of mothers fail to accept their own fault. Look at yourself in the mirror and say to yourself, yeah, what could I have done better? And I've had, because that is me. I cannot deviate. I'm that person. I do not point hands to anybody. And I don't want to leave that. Yes?
I absolutely love what you're saying about the mothers, because what I love about that is that you're saying a lot of the healing will take place the moment mum just says, you know what, at the time it was difficult for me, but now when I look back, there's nothing more important than you knowing that I learned and I'm sorry, or I want to talk, I'm ready, because I know that there are lots of children. I'm 40 now. I know that there's lots of children of their mothers, and they've tried to speak to their mothers, and their mother will get angry, push them away. I don't want to talk about it. And all that child needs is...
Let me stop you there. Do you know the reason why they don't want to talk about it? Is the point that I made. I was not in the right state of mind. I just lost my husband, and everything crops up. At the same time, you can't handle it all. You got to take a step at a time and, find yourself before you find someone else, isn't it? That is why most mothers can can listen to their children, like you're saying it. You got to have that right moment and be in that right frame of mind to be able to handle different issues. And I tell you, it's happening in every family right now. So I hope women could just take a moment, a step back, and reflect to the main issue and say, look, this is what it is. I'm going to deal with it one at a time.
Beautiful, beautiful.
That is my thing, don't do it all at the same time, because it's emotional sometimes. Children are feeling it as well. So we got to accept that, because they are connected to us, and whatever we are feeling, they are feeling as well. Their way of expression is quite different from the way we express things. So we got to take that into consideration.
I love that. Like, listeners, I really want you to take away from this the true essence, the depth, because you're going deep. I think this is the crux of what we need to discuss as the family, the bits that hurt the most, the bits that you've been avoiding the most. Listeners, take your family into your heart and just really say, what will it take? What are the support mechanisms? Because it may be that your family might need some mediators to actually have this conversation, because every family is different. It may be that you can just have a conversation and then sit down, agree to sit down. It may be that maybe you can't sit in the same room. Maybe you have to do it on the phone. But I feel that no matter what way that works for you, I feel that this is going to be a massive, massive opportunity for you and your family to heal. For you and your family to heal. And the way, just like Mama said, to then go out into the community and allow that healing to to actually just permeate everywhere you touch and come into contact with. And in essence, it will inspire other families, somewhat like a ripple effect, to do the same, because what we're talking about here is so important. And I think the back of my mind, Mama, what I'm thinking of is the support mechanisms, what the women need to get to that stage, because it's not fair that you have to heal yourself, deal with the wounds, this, you're still on your own. It calls for the extended family, it calls for the friend, the village mentality, so to speak, is that you need the support of your support system to enable you to be able to go down to the next line and heal that generation. And it's so unfortunate that often women are expected to have a stiff upper lip, put up your chin, wipe away the tears and just deal with it. But I guess that's what causes so much sickness in people, because we're just dealing with it. What would you say is the correct support mechanisms to put in place just to make you feel supported?
Well, actually, it is very simple. One thing is real to me. As unexpressed pain can cause depression. And the outcome of that is mental health. So what do we do here? Do not shy away. Find somebody very reliable. Find people, talk about it. Don't try to, score points in any situation like that. Just be you and, open it up as it is. Aren't we here for a short time? We are. Why should I take my pain away with me? That's no point. Open it up, talk to someone, and be honest about it. I know a lot of people who come to me for help, who wonder how I got through what I got through and still standing as I am today. One thing I tell them is, there is nothing too small or too large to do. Just accept it. Look at it in the simplest way. You can't. I have a group of about 250 women. And from the time they came to me, their perception of themselves changed. It did change because I'm an honest person. I just have to be that. I can't afford to lie to myself. Why we cannot move on in life is the mask a lot of us wear. If we begin to take that mask, layers after layers, so many layers there, and that's our problem, not tackling things as we should. Take off the mask, be yourself, be real, say it as it is, don't try to buy points. So I think that's the best way. Talk to someone who can actually point you to the right direction. Most importantly, being a counselor by profession, I did not study counseling because I want to work with counseling, because I'm a core businesswoman. But when I encountered problems in life, I thought I need counseling. But instead of going to counselors, I went to study counseling for myself. So, and I knew it helped me to understand who I am, to be open and accept myself and say to myself, yes, it's here, deal with it, face it, don't shy away from anything. Because say for instance, I'm not happy with you. Whatever you do, I'm not happy. You're not there to see how I'm feeling about that. So what's the point of feeling not happy with anybody? You cannot afford to do that to yourself. It's damaging. Learn to look at yourself and say, I am me, and this is the problem, and I will deal with it. Don't shy away, don't cover it up. Talk to someone who is experienced, who has the mind, the ears to listen to that problem and be able to really actually point you to the right direction. Nobody's above mistakes in this world. So let's face the fact. Talk to someone and don't be ashamed of yourself. Yeah, I said, when I'm I am that person who wants to do what I want to do that I know will benefit others.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Because I've been through it myself. If I can do it, anybody else can do it. And that's what I'm about, elevating people. Talk to someone. Don't keep it in. It doesn't matter what it is.
That's beautiful.
So I tell everybody that come around me, please, if you have a pain, I have a game I created. It's called a Serenity game. And when they come to my session, I can't deal with you if you don't play that game. You got to really face yourself with the game. And it's going to expose you to whom you are. At that point, you will begin to realize, look, I have to come out and accept it. I've identified myself right here. And that's the beginning of my session whenever I take people on.
Wow.
So face yourself. Don't shy out. Don't shy away. Attack it. Don't store it. I'm 65 years of age. I'm 66 in June. And I'm telling you, I run as fast as my legs could carry me anytime.
Oh,
yeah.
Beautiful. Do you know what I love?
And that's the essence of it, because I can't lie to myself. When we lie to ourselves, we damage ourselves. There's no point, Sabrina. People should understand that. A lot of families are going through crisis right now.
A lot.
A lot. Stress is on the rise, very high.
Yes.
Depression is following, and the end result is mental health, which I predict is what's going to happen after this lockdown. So talk about it. I encourage them to talk about it. Be yourself in every situation. Be present. Be transparent. It doesn't matter what it is. You are whom you are. I am who I am. And together we can help each other. You might know somebody who might help me. I might know somebody who might help you. So don't keep stress down. It's not good for anybody. I think I appreciate what I do, and I love to do more if I can. But I'm now doing what I'm supposed to do that I didn't do 4 years ago, because I was in a terrible state of mind, being bankrupt, losing my husband at the same time. I mean, in my own case, too, children are grown, so I was expecting them to be more for mommy at that time. And I don't blame them. I blame myself a little bit. If I'm crying on their shoulders, they will be ready there for me to help me out as well. But I thought I was a giant woman who can handle everything. But then I soaked in it, and it was damaging, I tell you. It was damaging. I don't wish it to anybody. Speak out. It doesn't matter how much they push you away. Push yourself forward.
That's beautiful.
That's my advice.
Thank you so much. What I really love, there was so much that you shared, but listeners, I really want you to tap into what Mama said with regards, especially if you're a mother, especially if you're a mother of grown-up children. I think it's so important is that you have to work on you first before you desire to do this. You see, it's going to be so painful, so difficult to actually see where people are if you haven't first dealt with the things that's going on inside of you. And I think that is so valid, because it's so painful and raw to deal with all the attacks verbally come in and blame and all the resistance if you haven't first dealt with what's going on inside of you. So I really thank you for being honest, because there's no point sitting down at the table if you're not mentally and emotionally prepared. There's no point asking people to be honest, because then when they're speaking to you, you feel like you're under fire. Whereas once you do the inner work, once you start healing your wounds, once you start dealing with what's been in your backpack that you've been carrying around, you put it down. You can be there as a vessel and say, look, I understand you're in pain, and I can see why you're in pain, and I'm going to listen. But you can't do that if you don't first heal yourself. I love that.
That's right.
I love that you said
that.
So mums,
it's very important. It's very crucial, Sabrina. It is. But I will give you an example. During my exams as a counselor training, the invigilators are watching me. Everybody there, I welcome my clients. Hi, welcome, blah, blah, blah. You come to see me today. This is me. This is what I do. And we've got 40 minutes. Yes, he sat down. I welcomed him, made him comfortable. They were all observing me. And suddenly this client said to me, the invigilator's watching me. And here is me. This is my final stage now in counseling. And I was looking at this guy, trying to absorb what he was saying. And you know what? He said exactly what I have been through myself. Guess what he did to me? I seized. I was looking at him. I didn't know what to do. Do you know what my tutor did? She came, wow, I don't deserve to be shot. I woke up, took over the conversation again. So sometimes, like Andy Harrington said, if you want to change people, hit them hard. Yeah? She really, yeah, she hit me hard and I immediately woke up. Why did I go into numbness? Because I failed to deal with that issue at the time. So I kept it away. And this guy came and hit the nail on the head. And that was me frozen. So sometimes we have to deal with our own issues first. At that point, I realized that was when it hit me that you must always deal with whatever you are feeling first. Make sure you are at that level of alignment where your soul, your body, your mind is all completely in alliance. Then you can deal with other people's problem. And that is where I am at the moment. So whatever I do it with honesty and I try to be authentic as I can. It's good to be genuine to yourself.
That's it, listeners. You know, that's the message. Be genuine to yourself. I think there's so much emphasis about integrity, authenticity, and being genuine. But the key message here is being all of those things to yourself. And as a result of you doing it to yourself, it comes from the inside out. Then you can pour that to others. And I couldn't agree more. I'm absolutely ecstatic that you support over 250 women, because as you pour into those women pour into the family, and the ripple effects are just endless. What's really probing for me is that we had a beautiful conversation about life after kids. Now, for women, I think this is so significant, for men as well. If you're mother or father, it's about who are you outside of being a mother? Who are you outside of
mother,
the wife? Or
that's correct. That is it.
And you're writing a book about this, so I would love you to talk about this. I think it's such an exciting title, Life After Kids, because who are you? Because if you've spent your entire life being everything to everyone else apart from yourself, who are you?
In fact, I'm that woman who understands that there is a life for kids. We have a life to live as well. We have to understand that kids have their life to live. And as a mother, I think when you finish with the children, begin to live a life. Begin to really actually know whom you are. And let the children demonstrate what they have taken away from you as a mother. Move on. Keep looking ahead. Keep looking after yourself and watch them grow. Watch them really demonstrate what they have taken out of you. And that is your legacy. And actually, this is where I will stop with that now, because I'm so excited. I could go on and on and on and on and on about you. Yes.
That is beautiful.
You have to identify or recognize that there is life after the kids have gone, and switch to be whom you want to be. And this is the time for us to actually sit back, let them grow, let them really share what they've got.
Wow.
There is life after kids.
Wow. I love that. I love that so much. And it's so important. I love the way you said about taking care of yourself, because you have to have a life that exists outside of the children, because they've come here to live their life, and you have to know what your one is. And it really reminds me of a killer. I don't know if there's a poem, a famous poem that was written back in 1883 about our children. So you as a listener, I urge you to go and take a look at it, because it really encapsulates what you said, Mama, about our children have their own journey. And once we've done the role of raising them, we have to allow them to take over their life and go and live that. But we also need to have a life for ourselves.
Yes.
Otherwise, it's disconnection.
Life after kids. Yes, there must be life after kids.
I wonder if you can let the listeners know how they can contact you via social media, if you have a website, please.
Okay. Anyway, my name is Chioma on Facebook. You know, and my website, www.actiondiffusestress.com. Alternatively, they can contact me on constantcalmcreator@yahoo.com. constantcalmcreator@yahoo.com. Alternatively, Facebook, Chioma Mundy-Castle, or go to my website, www.actiondiffusestress.com.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Anyway, yes, thank you so much. I'm so impressed, and thank you.
Thank you so much. I really thank you for sharing space with me. I've learned so much. And listeners, I really urge you to listen to this again. There is so much that you can learn for yourself and for your family by listening, taking note, and taking the action and implementing it into your own personal life and into that of your family. Some people will come along on the journey, and we have to be accepting that some people will not. But what's more important is that Mama's saying to you, claim your own happiness, take charge of your own happiness, take responsibility for your own contributions. And with that, the most priceless you get is yourself. And then if you can go out and touch your family with it, it's going to be amazing. But first you heal yourself, and then you can pour that out into your family. So thank you so much.
Indeed. Yeah.
Yes,
indeed. Take action and becoming every this morning. Yeah.
You take good care of yourself. Thank you.
And you too. Bye.